only drawn today. They can be top of this group.
It's Moldova then who get us underway. They're attacking the goal to our left in the first half. Moldova, the red shorts, the blue shirts, and yellow socks. England in their familiar white shirts. So Campbell, a quick recovery this season from an injury in his club, Tottenham Hotspur.
Campbell's probably one of the most improved players on the English panel. Made his debut in that ill-fated game which was called off against Ireland at Lansdowne Road.
Neville playing it forward. Scary Neville letting it go back to David Seaman. England captain today, David Seaman, in the absence of Alan Shearer. Paul Ince out through suspension. He was also been a candidate to captain England and has done on previous occasions.
I guess that makes Seaman the 101st captain, does it?
He's the former captain England had in the goalkeeper position. He's back.
There is no such a thing as give me in international football anymore. Everybody makes you work for anything you get.
Neville with a cross to the far post. A tumble there, but the referee allowing play to continue. Free kick for Moldova for the challenge there from Sol Campbell. Lewis Ferdinand who was bundled down as the cross came in there from Gary Neville.
Still looking for the first ever victory in World Cup qualification.
She won their very first international and they beat Belarus in Minsk back in 1993. They won that game 1-0, but they haven't won one since. Now Beckham in quickly trying to whip that one across. Picked up and pushed in the back, and it's going to be a free kick. Gascoigne was the player who was brought down.
Well, we talked about that result earlier, Mike. We have it officially confirmed now. Georgia 0, Italy 0. Now England have the opportunity by winning this game. They will go 1 point clear of Italy at the top of the table if they can get the win here. Looms as a huge game now. I think everybody was saying that Italy had the wants to beat England, but it's proven to be an awful lot different, isn't it?
Now Beckham with a free kick. He tried to get it to dip after he cleared the wall, but didn't dip quick enough.
Well, you're going to see he gets a nice strike on the ball, but it's rising all the time. Never makes the dip until it gets way behind the goal. You're going to see the wall does stands its ground, and Beckham just doesn't get a good strike on it.
Beckham tonight, his 10th appearance for England.
Well, there was questions whether he was going to start him or not, Mike. Several of the English players with yellow cards. Doesn't want him to miss the game with Italy. Maybe it's more important now to win this one.
Of course, a victory here now for England tonight. I mean, that a draw in Rome next month will be enough for England to win the group.
Well, it certainly changes things an awful lot from the game we did at Wembley, where Italy won that one 1-0, and everybody said, well, it's a foregone conclusion now. England's going to only finish second in the group.
Scholes taking the ball away, jumping in quickly, as fist to can. Spinu on the far side for Moldova. Moldova a year ago. 3 goals to the one. Captain was Glenn Hoddle's first game in charge. They've only managed 2 goals in the
down into the right corner. He was picked out rather nicely there with the throw right into space. And watch what he does. He's going to try to slide it in over the keeper on the far post. Look at that, it just hits the corner of the post. I think the keeper might have had it covered anyhow. Ferdinand felt that he was just a little bit off the line. Beautiful cross by Ferdinand, just misses.
That's Ferdinand done. Combining now with Beckham. Tonight is Karl-Erik Nilsson from Sweden. Assistant referees also from Sweden.
Oh, Nilsson nicks out of the box. The crowd were roaring for a penalty, but the man you just mentioned wasn't having any of it. Ian Wright's the man who's going to break across into the box. He goes down. That was a dive. He wasn't touched.
Corner of the game. Opportunity now for England to use the aerial power. Certainly Les Ferdinand. So good in the air this season. He's found his goal scoring touch since his transfer to Tottenham. Beckham with the corner, an outswinger to the far post. Well, nobody can get on the end of it for England. Moldova looking to break quickly. Gascoigne there for England. From Gascoigne, but the flag is up. And he brought way back, in fact, for a free kick.
I'm not sure I understand that. I'm not even sure the referee understands it, Mike, but it seemed like play was continuing up the field, and all of a sudden the flag went up for an offside or a free kick. Pushing the amount of players forward we thought they might. Of course, everybody thought the under-21 side would have an easy victory too, and they only beat Moldova 1-0.
First international goal from Marcus Hall, playing football for Coventry City. Quite late in the game, in fact. United now combining with his Manchester United teammate David Beckham. It's brought down.
Now an amazing total of Manchester United players on this panel, 7 of them altogether. That's the unlucky number 2. Beckham gets clipped on the jaw just as he makes the turn inside.
In fact, Qualifier with that foul. It's gone in the referee's notebook, the first booking of the game. One of the 2 goals that Moldova have managed in the World Cup so far in qualifying. Just away there by Romanenko, the goalkeeper. Now batting. Qualifier and victory over Poland. Now to replace the Paul Gascoigne. Vaza there with the tackle from behind. Seeing the free kick.
Well, he doesn't get the call here. Takes the player down from behind. Wright's the man who goes down.
They're taking it quickly, trying to catch Moldova out. It's not quite working at this stage. Here's Southgate.
It's amazing when you look at the Moldovan squad forgot, Mike, the leading goal scorer in Moldova for the last 2 years, Karl-Erik, scoring 24 and 25 goals. He's not on the panel at all. So they must feel like they have a good goal scorer out there somewhere. They haven't shown it.
The only other player who scored for them in World Cup qualifying is Gascoigne. He's out with a yellow card, which he picked up in the last game against Georgia. He scored one. Portiana scored the other. Gascoigne, in fact, plays his football in Holland. Plays with the Go Ahead Eagles in the Dutch First Division.
Well, I think he hasn't been really go ahead. I think they may be going to say go back, in fact. Go ahead may not be an appropriate name for him because he hasn't settled too well in Holland, and I think they're thinking about sending him home. So for him, it's the go back Eagles.
Linko, goalkeeper, making his 10th appearance today. The 23-year-old goalkeeper. Internationals. As this one is played through and chasing it down that time was Les Ferdinand and David Beckham. Trying to get there first, but the clearance doesn't even go out of play. Gary Neville. Nice 1-2 there with Beckham. There getting the ball out of play. Pallister, one of the substitutes. Robert Lee there as well. Stan Collymore.
Well, the man missing out of the equation is McManaman. A lot of people wondering why Hoddle didn't put him in there.
Headed down and hooked away too convincingly from Moldova. Scholes there can't bring it under control.
Oh, it looked like a great opportunity for England here as the ball is swung in from the corner. Header coming from deep. Look at the touch is missed on it here and it's just hooked away there. Sekou is the man who hooks it away.
Beckham.
Just continuing that McManaman story, Mike. A lot of people feel that Hoddle is just using payback because McManaman didn't go to France and play in that tournament in France.
And the shot coming in. No worries there for David Seaman. The shot coming in from Rogachev.
Well, he gets a little bit of room here. Everybody's moving back off him. He fires the shot. It's not even close. Puts it way over the top. Young man who came up through the under-21 system.
He's 20 years old. A lot of these players from Moldova realise that we're on a pretty big stage here at Wembley. Great opportunity to perhaps impress some clubs in the Eastern European leagues. Make an investment. And here's Spinu.
Zimbru was the team that won the championship from 92 to 96 in Moldova, but it changed last year.
The winners last year in Moldova. Watching the Road to World Cup 98 here on ESPN from European Group 2. We're at Wembley Stadium tonight as we check the MasterCard game summary. No goals to report. Kurtian, though, has got in the referee's notebook the one booking so far. England with it all to do now because they know that if they win here, they will take over top place in the group, with Italy earlier today in Tbilisi being held to a 0-0 draw by Georgia. Caught from behind. And a free kick for England.
Oh, Ferdinand's such a force in this team anymore. It's hard to imagine when he was originally bought, Mike, he cost £15,000.
This is not the fourth free kick that England have had around this position. They haven't done anything with the previous ones. They're not going to do anything with this because Gascoigne plays that straight to the goalkeeper's arms.
They just don't look very well organised up front.
Gascoigne. Only one touch too many. Now Moldova. Portian. Moldova, and he shot that trying blocked there by David Batty.
Two Charltons brings back memories of last two brothers to play for England.
Scholes to keep that one in for our international audience only. We continue on our road to World Cup later today with Slovakia up against Yugoslavia. That really is a crucial game for both those sides. And we're going to see it here on ESPN. Well, back here at Wembley, we're still awaiting the opening goal. Giza there with the throw for Moldova. Baba gets the return. Sweeps it wide. Spinu trying the shot and way over the top. With Seaman at this stage, the England captain for tonight, hasn't been forced into making a save of any kind.
Well, it's hard to imagine, but Moldova have taken 2 shots and England have only taken 1 shot after 15 minutes into this one, Mike.
Now Gascoigne running straight at the Moldova defence. Still Gascoigne now. Beckham. Shot half blocked. And in the end, Ferdinand and Wright were both ways in there, unable to turn it in. Wright's shot eventually deflected.
Franco is the man who gets his body in the way as the ball. Nice run by Gaza right down the middle. He lays it off the Beckham. Body just throwing at the ball, and then it just scoops up over the top. Moldova living dangerously, but getting away with it. Beautiful run by Gaza out of the midfield.
Right, 7 goals in the England shirt. Attention needed for Moldova at the back, but Gascoigne is very best, isn't it?
Well, he picked the ball up, and you can see his strength as he runs down, and then he just slips the ball off. Nice soft pass. Beckham's coming, he hits it properly, and there you can see the ball being deflected over. Good defensive work by Moldova.
One thing that's impressed Tommy is they're working very hard at the back. They're covering each other. They're trying to deny England the space around the penalty area, and they're doing it quite well at this stage.
Well, they've done a pretty good job of it, because England is not, you know, they don't look as lethal as they should with the kind of players they have out there. I mean, that's really the first time that anybody has picked the ball up and ran at this defense. And you figure if you're going to beat Moldova, one thing is you got to pull them out of position. And I mean, Gaza should be able to do that all day, but that's the first time he's been able to do it.
Beckham will take the corner for England. Swinger this time, the glancing header goes just wide. Goal kick to relieve the pressure. It's Ferdinand just unable to direct that one on goal.
Well, you're going to see the ball comes across him. He gets the flick on header, then the ball is knocked down. A couple of players have the opportunity to put it in, and it's just not falling properly for England at the moment. Look at that, there's white shirts, 3 opportunities, nobody can put it away.
Spinu then is back on the pitch, so Moldova now back to full strength. Just able to keep that one in place. Maybe a throw for Moldova. Ben Hoddle has been emphasised all week. It's just important for England to win this. 1-0 will be as good as 10-0, because Moldova looks as if they are going to finish bottom of this group. So therefore, the games against Moldova comes down to choice between England and Italy will not come into calculation. Although now, of course, England have a great opportunity to win this group outright. Victory here and a victory in Rome next month.
Well, they certainly have their own destiny in their hands again, and that's what any team needs.
Batty floating this one in. Goalkeeper under pressure. Just tapping it away that time. Now, Scholes. Philip Neville. Now Gascoigne. Here's Gary Neville up on the overlap, whipping this one across. An awkward bouncing ball. The defender does well. Ferdinand nods it back in. A bit of panic at the moment. At the back there for Moldova, and their goalkeeper there.
Well, you can feel that England are starting to tighten the screws just a little bit. David Batty coming up. The ball is knocked across. The opportunity was there for Paul Scholes on the far post.
Now will relieve the pressure.
Well, you can see Moldova gets into all kinds of trouble, Mike, when England start to stroke the ball around. I mean, if you allow them to sit back in their own box, they're going to be very formidable, but I'm not sure they have the skill to counter-attack.
Now the cross, Courtian. Back there for England. And the ball cleared and straight to a blue shirt. Campbell this time stepping in. The coach of Moldova thought it would be an achievement tonight if his team could actually score a goal.
The way England are going, Glenn Hoddle might feel it will be an achievement if England should score.
Here come Moldova. Success there of Ibiza. We'll be seeing Les Ferdinand in action on the English Premier League this week. It's Leicester City against Tottenham. We're going to see that live on Monday. Our viewers in the United States will also be able to see that on Monday night. That's the English Premier League. Leicester City against Tottenham. Check your local listings 4 times.
Oh, then Howley came under a little bit of pressure, didn't he, over an incident at Leicester? What? There's running out on the field. Ian Wright ran out on the field after a goal was scored 6 minutes into added time. A lot of people in England now starting to ask to do something about this clock situation, Mike.
Some people think it's perhaps one of the jobs that can be taken away from the referee. They have a hard enough task as it is. A lot of people was a little curious where the referee came up with 6 minutes of stoppage time.
A lot of people have been talking about it in the MLS.
Now the cross, Scholes with a header, and just over the crossbar. Scholes, this is his 4th appearance for England tonight.
Oh, he got himself into a good situation. Neville is the man who comes up the field with a throw-in. He takes the return pass. The ball squared across. Look at how open Scholes is, and he just knocks it over the top. Should have done a little better with that, Mike. Should have at least forced the keeper into a save.
Ball pushed through. England have 2 defenders back. And David Seaman had to make the save. Rogachev was the player who was going to test the England captain from the edge of the penalty area.
Oh, Rogachev made a nice run, got in behind.
Now Gascoigne. And Gascoigne there brought down. Free kick, no booking.
Oh, this is the 3rd good opportunity England had on frees like this. The ball just slipped into him nicely by Ferdinand. Gaza takes it through, and just as he rides around the tackle, he's caught there.
Stroyenko was the player who just left his foot there. Gascoigne there got up quickly and shook hands and defused the situation. Gascoigne, Beckham and Batty. 3 players over the ball. Gascoigne floating this to the far post, the header across. Well, it was Les Ferdinand, and I think he was just trying to head it back across the face of goal. There were 2 England players waiting.
Oh, it's just squared across him. He tries to push it back because, as you said, the 2 players had taken up position inside. Southgate was in there and Scholes was there. England haven't looked at all good on those free kick situations, Mike. That's 3 good opportunities they've had now and created nothing out of it.
Courtian sliding that one inside, and the shot in the end is off target, coming in there from Spinu, but some warning signs there for this England defence.
Well, they were open at the back. A nice ball cut right through the box. Watch Spinu make that diagonal run into the middle, and then he doesn't hit it very well. Seaman just watches it go over the top, but nevertheless they were open, and look at the shots, even at 4 apiece.
Now Gascoigne over the halfway line, threading this one through. Ferdinand, Les Ferdinand, he's put it wide. Well, his strength and his pace took him past the defender, but he just couldn't get his shot on target.
Well, Gaza once again is the man running with the ball. That's what he needs to do, and then he parts with it just at the right moment. Ferdinand cuts into the box. Here's the keeper coming out, and even if the keeper doesn't come out, Ferdinand had already committed himself to hitting it and doesn't strike it very well, Mike. He's going down when he hits it. He gets a little bit of a touch coming back there. Rajek is the man who gives him the touch, the keeper coming out, but Ferdinand just simply puts it wide.
Ferdinand looking to add to those 5 goals he's already scored for England. One of those has come in World Cup qualifying. It was here, in fact, against Poland.
Well, that was his 3rd opportunity, Mike, and it wasn't the charm. It looked like he was through. He had a great chance of putting it away. But once again, Gaz is the man who's going to cause the problems in the middle. If he holds on to the ball, he can pull this defence out to him and create a lot of space on each side of him.
Gary Neville taking the throw. With the 2 Neville brothers. Now Rogachev. Breaks nicely there. Mitriev plays it wide. Spinu in front of the far post. Now the header down. The shot there is blocked.
Oh, Philip Levin is leaving an awful lot of room on that left-hand side, Mike. That's where all the problems are coming from. And Spinu is pushing up.
Although they're just playing the ball back, trying to keep possession. Tanu. Shashkin on the far side. There's just losing his footing. The referee had a good look at that, deciding not to call the free kick. Now Gary Neville. Scholes. One thing that the Moldovan team have done, Tommy, by stopping England in these opening 27 minutes, is that they've started to take the crowd out of this.
Yeah, the crowd has got much quieter than they were at the beginning. Of course, such an emotional start. The crowd were really into it, and you wondered what kind of an effect would it have on Moldova, but it didn't bother them at all. I mean, they're still very cool and calm, and England looked like they've lost their way just a little bit, Mike.
Well, their coach came out with a statement: to play at Wembley is the pinnacle of any footballer's career, and this will be a momentous day in our nation's brief history. As Gascoigne takes the free kick quickly. Too quickly there for the liking of Carl Nilsson from Sweden.
Oh, there's been a lot of talking points.
Oh, what a wasted free kick from Paul Gascoigne. Some of the English play in this first half has been very sloppy.
Oh, some of it, I mean, in particular, the opportunities from the set ball positions, they haven't been able to exercise at all. I mean, you wouldn't imagine that they're after spending a couple of days together training the way they're shooting these free kicks.
Ball forward that time from David Batty. Now Wright. And again, the challenge is coming in quickly. Moldova concede another corner. Ian Wright applauds the ball from David Batty. Leading on the corner kicks. So not leading on the scoreboard at this stage.
Well, right up to his usual antics, Mike, trying to get somebody in there to make a reaction.
Beckham with the corner. Fisted away there by Romanenko. Back to Beckham. And the flying header. And an opening goal. And Paul Scholes. Well, Paul Scholes' second international goal.
Well, I reckon he's going to be the star of the future. This one not cleared very well. The keeper had the opportunity to put it out. Scholes gets to it and he buries it in the corner of the net with a beautiful header. Comes right down through the middle. He's the first man on the end of the line. He's the first man to get there. The defenders don't react very well to it. The keeper punches it back out to Beckham, and there's the corner of the net filled with a beautiful goal. Really great opportunity, well set up. England had looked very badly on those set pieces up until that one, and even at that, the goalkeeper gives them the second opportunity because he didn't punch it away.
Two Manchester United players combined. England 1, Moldova 0. The cross from Beckham, the goal from Paul Scholes. And all of a sudden, Wembley is awake again.
Well, they got the crowd back into it. Two of Alex's fledglings really showing their worth here.
Gary Neville. Southgate This is Philip Neville. Up over the halfway line. Gascoigne. It's a return from Wright. Gascoigne playing it into space. A good overlapping run from Gary Neville. Can he keep the ball in play? He can. England will settle for a corner.
Well, in fairness to both teams, I mean, it wasn't that Moldova looked like they were playing so good, Mike, in that first 30 minutes. It was just that England looked so sloppy.
Beckham now with the corner. This time hit towards the far post. And again winning the challenge in the air. Who did that take a final touch off? Gary Neville feels that it took a touch from the Moldovan defender. You're watching the Road to World Cup 98, coming to you from Wembley Stadium. The MasterCard game summary. Paul Scholes has given England the lead. It came in the 29th minute. England 9, a win here tonight will move them into first place in this group, with Italy today being held to a draw by Georgia. Beckham with the corner. Now Gascoigne. Paul Gascoigne surrounded there by blue shirts. There was just no way through in the end. Now Fisticane up over the halfway line. And Moldova have defended well. They've worked hard, but they've not been afraid to come forward. Although this time they've given the ball away. And they could be stretched if England can get it forward quickly. That's Gascoigne. He's picked out Beckham. Here's Ferdinand. Trying to turn Les Ferdinand, gets this one across. Nobody attacking the ball that time for England. Here's Batty.
Well, Gaza looks like he's back to his old self, Mike. Really controlling the midfield and starting to spray the ball around.
Beckham was caught late. Challenge coming in from Tusti Latanu.
Another good opportunity now just outside of the box. I would be letting Beckham hit these.
He's hit a couple and he didn't get too close to the target. So important in modern football that you do get set plays around this area, that you take full advantage of it. England haven't done that so far. Gascoigne. And that wasn't too far wide.
Gaz is trying to go for that top right-hand corner. Let's see how much he misses by as you look at it from the back. Just curling away all the time. He puts it over the top. Gets it over the wall all right, just a little bit too high. It doesn't bend down in time for him. Nice stroke on the ball, just dropping it in. Keeper's not very happy with his wall.
Gascoigne, who scored a sensational goal here. A free kick for Tottenham against Arsenal back in an FA Cup semi-final in the early 90s. He's been able to go on target in this game. Batty doing some good covering play at that time.
Scored a sensational goal here against Scotland too, didn't he, in Euro 96?
There he is on the ball. Paul Gascoigne showing a good turn of pace there. That's never been one of his strong points.
Well, he looks like he's enjoying himself out there today.
He's 30 years old now. People are saying that he's really grown up in the last 12 months or so. Stroyenko playing it forward, and Mitriev was caught offside.
Philip Neville doing a lot of screaming over there, but there's been a lot of space on his side of the field, Mike. Any of the problems that England have had at the back, Moldova had found the openings over on that right wing.
Philip Neville really came into his own in that tournament in France, where he had a very good series for England. Now Paul Scholes. Played across. There's another one of the Manchester United youngsters. David Beckham trying the shot. David Beckham, who made his debut for England against Moldova. But it's his Manchester United teammate who's given England the lead.
And here it comes right into your living room. He just nods at home as Beckham squares it across. Scholes puts it right into the corner. semi-finals. They'll be in action next week together when Manchester United start off in the Champions League.
It's uncharted waters for Manchester United next week in the Champions League. This one is played across, and a neat header back there from Gary Neville.
Well, one thing I can tell you about that group they're in is they're going to be very difficult to win it. 3 former winners of the Champions League in the one group.
There with the challenge, which concedes another corner for England.
Stoyanko has been very solid at the back, reads the game very well, very tough back there.
Beckham again with the corner. Coming up late, in fact, that time was Gareth Southgate. So another corner. More pressure now for Moldova. And with white shirts, we're back into aim at. Southgate's forward as this one comes in towards the near post, looking for the flick on there from Paul Scholes. And Neville. Sol Campbell. To lift that one through. Moldova, though, stood firm. And now looking to break quickly. Logachev. Full was blocked. It was Gary Neville who did the tidying up. Now Gascoigne.
Well, Gaza tracking well back that time too and made himself available when Gary Neville got the ball.
Now Mitriev.
Moldova's credit, Mike, they haven't panicked, although they've given one away now.
Now Beckham to the far post and a bit too high, in fact, from David Beckham. Well, a big day in World Cup qualifying all around the world. In fact, 13 matches being played in Europe and 4 in South America. We've told you about Italy's draw with Georgia, and Denmark have beaten Croatia. That really is a crucial game, and so's that for Hungary when beating Azerbaijan in Group 3. Shot there from Courtian.
Well, Denmark looked like they were in trouble losing to Bosnia, but now they've come back. They've won a big one there. We're going to see this situation. Here's Beckham walking in. Gets a couple of defenders, and watch, he pulls the defenders towards him. 2 men popping up on the far post, and neither of them can get to it. Ian Wright's the first man, Ferdinand is the man coming in on the back post, and Beckham just doesn't play it softly enough.
In Group 4, Austria have now taken another step towards qualification. That's a good result for them, winning in Minsk. Sweden are keeping their hopes of qualifying alive, beating Latvia, and Bulgaria have beaten Russia in Group 5. Of course, those 2 teams are yet to meet again. Romania were the only team in Europe with a 100% record. They kept that with a 4-0 victory. And Ireland have actually beaten Lithuania. And that's a very good result for the Irish. Not so good for the Irish side north of the border. They lost to Albania by 1-0.
Oh, big result for Ireland there. That gives them the opportunity now to go into the last game against Romania. And they're sitting in 2nd spot, going for that playoff spot. So a lot of the World Cup picture starting to sort itself out now, Mike.
Yes, we know Norway and Romania have qualified already from Europe. We know the 5 entrants now from Africa as well. Asian qualifying got underway at the weekend. Moves to Japan and the Korea Republic. There's Gascoigne. Plays it to Wright. Wright lays it back now. Gary Neville. Here's Beckham. Batty. Now Gascoigne. Some help at the moment. Plays it short.
19 out of 21 passes from Gascoigne have been completed, Mike. He's really controlling the midfield. He's the leader out there today, and that's what Hoddle needed from him.
Batty plays it through. Well, that's Ferdinand there having quite a battle with the defender. Yeah, I've noticed about David Beckham, Tommy, is that he's been able to pick up and find a lot of space.
Yeah, he's been sliding up along the right-hand side, and He's kind of gone unnoticed there and created a few problems for Moldova.
Southgate now. Still Southgate trying to get round the edge of the defence. England will settle for a corner. Match day 1 of the UEFA Champions League, our live match for our international viewers and viewers throughout the United States. It's Newcastle United against Barcelona, live next Wednesday. Check your local listings for times. The opening game of the brand new season of the UEFA Champions League. And David Beckham. Out-swinging corner. Who came forward there was Southgate. He couldn't get on the end of it. Gascoigne is stopped. It's going to be a throw now. Moldova have stuck to their task well. Gascoigne.
Oh, Shaskin has denied a lot of space over on that right-hand side.
Batty with the cross.
Oh, did he keep the ball in? Referee's assistant says he did.
Romanenko, the 22-year-old goalkeeper. In the last 9 internationals, he's never recorded a shootout. He's not going to record one tonight either. England leading here by a goal to 0. Less than 4 minutes to go to half-time. Timatanu. It's rather wasted. No worries there for David Seaman.
Oh, Seaman now under his 4th English manager, Mike. Robson, Taylor, Venables, now Hoddle. That's a fairly impressive string.
Now Batty. Beckham. This time trying to play it low and clearance this time from Stoyanko.
Oh, Beckham's getting a lot of the ball, but his placement of the ball in terms of putting it into the box and finding somebody with it is leaving a little bit desired. I know he picked out Scholes for the goal, but he's had a couple of glorious opportunities.
Now Beckham. Corner hit wider this time, and the another attempted on goal there from Gareth Southgate. He's never scored for England.
Just coming up, he slides down, he comes in underneath this one and just flashes it away by the back post. Lost his balance as he hit the ball.
Southgate plays now with Aston Villa. Stay with us. Coming up at half-time, the MasterCard half-time report. We'll have a look at Team England. We'll also have a look back at the first half highlights of this game. And the substitutes there, Stuart Ripley. Last played for England in 1993. Graham Taylor's last game in charge. That was the game against San Marino.
Oh, there's a lot of contention over that one, why Hoddle took Ripley back onto the panel and didn't bring back McManaman.
Certainly, Stuart Ripley has been in sparkling form this season for Blackburn Rovers. They lead the English Premier League. And they're scoring a lot of goals, and a lot of them are down to his lead-up play. Now Seaman. The best of clearances, but he went straight to Gascoigne. Batty now. Long surging ball, looking for Ian Wright. Faced there by Shashkin. Still Wright. Shashkin got the challenge in. Another corner for England.
11-0. There's a corner for every man on the field at the moment.
Just over a minute to go to half-time. All like another goal about now. This one comes in, the goalkeeper under pressure, fists it straight up in the air, not the most convincing of clearances.
Oh, that's what cost him the first goal, Mike, when he fisted that corner away, give it right back to Beckham.
Fistacan plays it forward.
This time he got away with it.
Mitriev on the turn, loses out. Scholes plays it square. Here come England, plenty of players forward. The header towards the far post. I'm not sure there if Gascoigne was trying to head that on target or trying to head it across to Les Ferdinand.
Well, Ferdinand was available coming in on the back post. The ball played across. Watch Gaza, he has the hand up. Give me the ball. It's given to him. I think he's going for the top corner, Mike. Instead, it just comes out a little bit, and it's neither. Beckham is the man who plays it through, starting to get his touch. He found Gaza that time. Gaza couldn't get the return to Ferdinand. Here's the reverse angle of it. As you see, Gaza runs inside, gets behind the defender. Ferdinand just cannot get to it.
Moldova players having some treatment. That's Qualifier, who got up very, very slowly. He's back on his feet now as we enter stoppage time at the end of the first half. England leading here by a goal to nil. England going to get a free kick.
That's one of the problems Moldova have, Mike. A lot of the players seem to have a lot of injuries over the years, even the younger players.
Gary Neville on the overlap. Inside for Beckham. Beckham there caught by a late challenge. Came in there from Fistican. Kick quickly taken. Here's Gascoigne. And Ian Wright there in his first touch. Really did let him down. He's let England down because they find themselves now under pressure. Mitriev. But he's given away the free kick.
Well, Wright hasn't had too many touches in the first half. Neither has Batty, but he's found himself... He's done a lot of good unselfish work at the back, Mike. He's a very hard worker, Batty.
There is the half-time whistle. Paul Scholes' goal that came in the 29th minute is the goal that separates these two teams. You can see that on the MasterCard game summary. England have dominated the first half. Their finishing, though, has left a lot to be desired, but they got it right once. The cross from Beckham, the flashing header there from Paul Scholes. And that's the goal that gives this scoreline. England 1, Moldova 0. We've got more when we continue on the road to World.
This sports break is brought to you by 3M Canada, imagining the unthinkable and developing the unknown. That's 3M Innovation Network.
Afternoon, welcome back to the newsroom. Philadelphia Flyers center Eric Lindros is in training camp today despite still not having a brand new contract. Eric Lindros' agent and father Carl told TSN today there has not been any discussion of a holdout and Lindros will remain in camp. Carl and Flyers GM Bob Clark talked briefly today and plan to talk again in a few days, possibly about a shorter-term deal. And make sure you join us for Off the Record with Michael Landsberg. It's coming up this evening at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific time. Michael's guests include Craig Northey of the rock group Odds out of Vancouver and Brett the Hitman Hart. If you don't watch, he may perform the step-over toe hold on you. That's Off the Record at 6. Sports Desk tonight, 6:30 Eastern.
At Sprint Canada, the world revolves around you. With the most savings plan, you can call any day, any time, to anywhere with no time restrictions and get great by-the-minute rates to any country on Earth.
Like the United Kingdom, 36 cents a minute. India, 89 cents a minute. Or Australia, 55 cents a minute.
Where in the world?
Get the most for the least from Sprint Canada. Call 1-800-994-MOST today.
As Canada's auto parts store, Canadian Tire offers you even more. Like our Loan-A-Tool program. If you need an auto tool, just come to our auto parts counter, choose from a selection of specialized tools, and we'll loan you one at no charge. And there's more. You can also bring your brake drums and rotors to any Canadian Tire auto parts counter, and one of our staff will expertly machine them for you. It's convenient, and you know the job will be done right. Canadian Tire, Canada's auto parts store, made better.
Half-time report is presented by MasterCard, the future of money. As the country where the game was born, England has a long legacy of football success and high expectations. But hard times fell upon this proud side and they failed to qualify for USA '94. Since then, the side showed how far they'd come at Euro '96, when England's strong showing as host rallied a country behind them.
Euro '96 was a great feeling. You know, I was privileged to be, part of it, and so was the country, and it was a great feeling. And it wasn't until we came out of the hotel that we realised how much the country was behind us.
An early World Cup qualifying loss to Italy at Wembley brought up old doubts and created new ones about failing to qualify for the World Cup for the second straight time. But England coach Glenn Hoddle never conceded the group to Italy or hopes of making it to France.
Within the camp, we've always had our eyes gazed on the #1 group, and I think if you asked any Italian playing in their squad, I don't think they've cast it as a foregone conclusion yet anyway. As for what goes on and what people think outside the camp, I can't control it. I'm not going to worry if I can't.
England is unbeaten in World Cup qualifying since that defeat by Italy, including a trophy-winning performance in France.
The tournament in France in the summers give us that extra confidence that we know we can beat teams, you know, up there in the top 10 in the world. So coming against teams like Moldova, probably, you know, it's just all about attitude, and you've got to go out there and just show the right attitude to beat someone.
The mood in England has been somber since the tragic death of Princess Diana. Players are still grieving, but will have to keep focused on the task at hand.
It's going to be very emotional, you know, as the last week has been, you know, but when the whistle goes, we've got a serious job to do, you know, but we'll pay our respects to Diana. You know, I think it'll be quite an emotional national anthem, but, you know, once that's finished, we've got a job to do.
Well, it has been an emotional night here at Wembley. England, though, have kept their focus on what they have to do. At half-time, England 1, Moldova 0. We'll have more from Wembley when we return.
Excuse me, think your disposable razor shaves as comfortably as his Gillette Sensor XL? Yeah, well, try Sensor XL. It'll change your mind. After one shave with Sensor XL, we bet you don't go back. Because only Sensor XL has protective microfins for extra comfort. Wow. And self-adjusting blades for extra closeness. Disposables don't, and Sensor XL gives more shaves per blade than any disposable.
Excuse me.
Take the Sensor XL challenge. Bet you don't go back to disposables.
Hey, I want my Sensor XL back. Hey, hey!
You know, Kate, the chance of fitting a square peg into a round hole is limited merely by how you look at it. Come on, let me show you. Consider, for instance, our new Malibu and your juice. Round cup holder, square juice. Now that's attention to detail. Let's ask if we can go for a drive. Juice.
The new Malibu from Chevrolet.
Listen, Pierre, we Americans like high fiber, low cholesterol, high protein, low fat, vitamins, minerals, iron. Gotta have your iron. Always gotta have iron. Sneeze. Big Trotter, Chips brand. You better get this food thing fixed, because I know the sponsor, and I'll be back. Where's the can?
The English Premier League, Monday, Leicester City up against Tottenham Hotspur. You can see all the action here on ESPN. Viewers in the United States will be able to see this game on ESPN2. Leicester City against Tottenham Hotspur as we continue our coverage of the English Premier League. And starting next week, the UEFA Champions League. Match day 1, our live match for everybody all around the world. It's Newcastle United against Barcelona. You can see that live here on ESPN as we start our coverage of Europe's premier club competition, the UEFA Champions League. At half-time, Glenn Hoddle will be talking to his team. He'll be happy. It's England 1, Moldova 0. First half highlights are next.
When I was young, often I dreamed of being someone. This country offered me that opportunity, and I am proud to be a Canadian. But every 4 years, I can't help but think of my youth, my friends, and my first love.
L'Italia. Viva l'Italia. MasterCard is a proud sponsor of the 1998 World Cup and salutes all those Canadians who feel this is more than a game, but part of themselves.
This is your brain on your local phone company's long-distance savings plan.
Spend a minimum call on Tuesday night, not on Wednesday, call on Thursday night, not Friday, call on the weekend, not on Monday, only income must.
And this is your brain on Sprint Canada's The Most savings plan.
Any day, any time, to anywhere.
anywhere in Canada, just 15 cents a minute.
Get the most for the least from Sprint Canada. Call 1-800-THE-MOST today.
It's a no-brainer.
For the gold, the new Rebel G. Get the ultimate rush.
It's the way a house smells when there's bread baking in the oven. The way mothers make sandwiches just right. It's the way we try to know each of our customers by name, or at least by sandwich. And it's the way all your favorite things combine into something even better, right before your eyes. It's the way every day over 1 million people thank us for making them their favorite sandwich, even though it can be hard to talk with your mouth full. Subway. It's the way a sandwich should be.
Welcome back then as you join a capacity crowd here at Wembley Stadium at half-time. They've got plenty to cheer about. England 1, Moldova 0. Well, it was the first half that England dominated. They've only got one goal, in fact, to show for their domination. It could have been so many more. This was a great opportunity after just 13 minutes.
Well, Ferdinand is the man who slips the ball inside, and it's just taken as it heads goalward, taken away.
And then in the 27th minute, Les Ferdinand again released, this time by Paul Gascoigne, but the ball just run away from him and he couldn't get his shot on target.
Well, he should have done a little better with that one. He should have put more pressure on the keeper.
The goal, though, eventually came in the 29th minute. Beckham's corner is pushed away by the goalkeeper. It goes back to David Beckham, and he picks out his Manchester United teammate, Paul Scholes, and that's it.
Scholes just gets in front of everybody. Not a good clearance by the keeper. He punched it right back out to the man who took the corner. He puts it in, and there's the net result, the ball in the back of the net.
So look then at the first half statistics, and those figures pretty much tell you that England dominated it, Tommy.
Well, England certainly dominated. They didn't look good in that domination, Mike. It wasn't the fluid movement we expected out of the English attack, but nevertheless, they've come to grips with Moldova now and look like they're fairly in command of the game.
So there's the scene here at Wembley Stadium. When we return, we'll have the second half kickoff. At half-time then, England 1, Moldova 0. This ESPN halftime report was presented by MasterCard, the future of money.
The circumference of the world is almost 40,000 kilometers. Think about it. Our new Malibu can go around the world 4 times before a tuna. Hey, a cowboy! Look at that! Wow! Cool.
160,000 kilometers before its first scheduled tune-up. The new Malibu from Chevrolet.
Listen, Pierre, we Americans need a good night's sleep. A shower that works.
The power shower. French King Tut.
We got a ton of work to do, mon ami, and it better be ready, because I know the sponsor. Yeah, well, at least it's quiet.
Rainbow tortellini with marinara sauce. Spinach linguine and 4 cheese sauce.
You may have already tasted Olivieri fresh pasta and gourmet sauces. Olivieri, as good to cook as it is to serve.
Sun-dried tomato pesto sauce on angel hair pasta.
All right, everybody, to the kitchen!
Olivieri, as good as it gets.
Don't miss SPGA drama at the Boone Valley Classic. Defending champ Gibby Gilbert headlines a sweet swinging field. The Boone Valley Classic. Complete coverage begins Friday here on TSN.
The World Archery Championship brings over 400 of the world's finest archers to Canada. The best of international competition targets Victoria, BC for this year's contest. The World Archery Championship, Sunday on TSN.
Welcome back then to Wembley Stadium, where at half-time England are leading Moldova by 1-0. This a game, Group 2 of European World Cup qualification. Well, this year's World Cup, or next year's World Cup, as we must say, is up for 32 countries, the biggest ever, and Europe will have 15 countries there, including the host France.
And then you followed Africa and South America have 5 each, Mike. CONCACAF have 3, and then it can be between Asia and Oceanic, 3 or 4 or just the 1, depending on how the results go there.
Well, here's how the qualification works in Europe. France, as the host, take one of the spots. The 9 group winners will automatically go through. The best of the runners-up, the first best of the runners-up will go through, and the other 8 runners-up will play off of 4 matches to present for 4 winners.
Well, there's our updated team of who's in: France, Romania, Brazil, Cameroon and Morocco. And of course, there's a result there today. Bulgaria, they qualify from today. That's the result coming from that group. And now we know that Russia will be involved in the playoff in that group. So that's the first of the teams that is qualified for the playoff, Russia.
Scholes, whose goal separates these 2 teams here at Wembley. His 2nd international goal. This is just his 4th international appearance. As the Moldovan team come out for the start of the second half. Wembley filled to capacity. This famous stadium that was opened back in 1923. Plans, of course, to completely rebuild it, but keep the Twin Towers. And a quick check shows I don't think there's any changes, Tommy, for the England team. I don't think Glenn Hoddle has made a change.
Well, he doesn't decide to make a change at this stage. One of the things we might look for, Mike, is what will he do with these players, because they're all on yellow cards, and they get a second yellow card now. It means they're going to miss the game with Italy. So that'll be something to watch from the second half. Will he just take some of them out, depending on how the game goes?
But he's got Robert Lee and Graham Lasso both sitting on the bench today. He started with both Bakhti and Beckham.
Oh, what a difference 1 goal makes. If England could get this goal to stand up, it'd mean to go to Italy, and all they need is a draw in Italy to win this particular group and qualify for France 98.
Neither side has made any changes as England get the second half underway. Now attacking the goal to our left in this second half. And the situation is in this group, 3 points for a win. A 1-0 victory is as good as a 10-0 victory, and Glenn Hoddle was trying to stress that throughout the week.
Well, you know, looking at Moldova in the first half, they didn't play very well, Mike. I mean, they kept England contained. I don't think England played very well, but Moldova didn't really look like they were capable of scoring a goal. I mean, they had a few shots on goal, but they weren't very good shots.
It's a very young Moldova team. Certainly it's a team with an eye very much on the future. Yeah, Wright. Here's Gascoigne. A very good first half for England. Wright! It's 2-0.
Well, Gaza has been the catalyst all afternoon. Lovely little pass inside. Hoddle showed a lot of faith by sticking with the man who sticks it in the net. Ian Wright. Watch Gaza come thundering down the middle, slips it inside, and there's the Bulger onion bag on the short side. Wright hits it, and he hits it so sweetly off that right foot. Beautiful goal, well set up by Gaza. Clinical finish. Keeper goes to move to his left, and instead Wright just takes him on. This was the role we envisioned for Gaza. He's done it perfectly this afternoon, Mike.
The goal coming in the first minute of the second half. Ian Wright's 8th international goal. England 2, Moldova 0. And just the start that Glenn Hoddle would have wanted for England for the second half, Tommy.
Well, if he wrote a script, Mike, he couldn't have written it any better than that. Gaza pick up the ball, Wright stick it at the back of the net. I didn't think up until half-time that Wright was very effective, but he's certainly become effective now.
Yes, that was a great strike from Ian Wright. Did it quickly, crisply and accurately. Bit taken there by Courtian, but the ball was moving. The referee will have it retaken. Ian Wright, who hasn't scored in the last couple of games for Arsenal, as he tries to chase Cliff Baston's goal-scoring record. He needs 2, in fact. But his goal-scoring exploits have dried up for his club, but they certainly came to the fore that time for his country now. It's Philip Neville trying to play that one in field. It's cut out. Pushed forward that time by Kulibaba.
You know, it was a long way back from 1-0 down, Mike, from Moldova. It's an amazingly long journey back from 2-0 in a situation like this. You're going to see exactly what happens here as Gaza comes down the middle, picks up the ball, slides it forward. Wright just lets the ball round him, and as he does, he hammers it with that left foot. Brilliant strike by Wright.
Yes, it's that instinct of a goal scorer, isn't it? Alan Shearer's got it, Teddy Sheringham's got it, and certainly Ian Wright's got it.
Well, you just got to be a little greedy. If you're going to be a good striker, Mike, you've got to be thinking about yourself all the time. And as that ball came inside, Wright had no intentions, only just look up, find a weak spot on the keeper, found the keeper moving to his left, and he hammered it in on his right-hand side.
Paul Scholes. That time the shot finishes up way off target. Scholes, who was really a great discovery for England during that French tournament where he scored his first international goal. Ian Wright also had a very good tournament and came very much back into Glenn Hoddle's thinking.
Well, you've got to figure that Alex Ferguson figures that Scholes is going to be the man to take over Cantona's spot.
Here's Philip Neville with the cross. Moldova under a lot of pressure. Beckham skips past that challenge. Time to look up, measure the cross towards the far post. Wasn't too far wide in the end from David Beckham. Still looking for his first international goal.
Well, he just floats it in nice and soft. Had his first touch been as soft as his last touch, he might have put the ball in the net early, because as the ball came across to him, the ball is going to run away from him. Watch the close-in passing here. Good ball control by England. You're going to see the ball movement right inside of the box, and there's the shot. Beautiful ground-level stroke there from Ian Wright. The feed we were looking at was Gaz as he came down the field.
Well, Glenn Hoddle, first game in charge of England was against Moldova. He won 3-0. Kishinev sees his team leading here by 2-0.
And there were so many things with everything going on in England, Mike, and then there was the Ferdinand controversy, being caught for drunk driving, being dropped off the squad but being allowed to train. People said, you know, Hoddle used to be the good Samaritan, took everybody, give them an opportunity, didn't give the youngster a chance. So he's under a lot of pressure.
Now Seaman. And Seaman there, stopping the shot that came in from Tisti Matanu, who is likened to Vinnie Jones in Moldova.
Well, it's a weak kind of a shot. He gets in behind, a little bit of lax marking at the back by the England defenders.
One job I think that nobody wants under Glenn Hoddle is to be an England captain. He's used 5 England captains now in this is his 13th international. David Seaman has the captain's armband today in the absence of Alan Shearer, Stuart Pearce, and Paul Ince, captain England at one time or another. England looking to qualify for the World Cup. Another nation with a great World Cup history also involved tonight, and Germany 4-0 winners over Armenia.
Oh, that pushes them to the top of their group now, Mike. They're on 19 points.
Moldova looking to make a substitution. Keeping the ball quite well at the moment. Here's Shashkin. Cut out, though, by Beckham. Now, this is Gary Neville. Beckham. Now, Batty. Came in there from Ian Wright. Free, saw nothing wrong in it. Allows play to continue. Fistican. Fistican again, picking up the return. Moldova now. I've got some players forward. There's no way through though. Just bring him up to Manu.
The Mexican way of English style going here.
Scholes straight up in the air. Wright. Pushed in the back. A free kick for England. It'll allow Moldova to make a change. Baba is the player that's coming off, and Shukarev is the player that is coming on. So Shukarev comes on in the 53rd minute, replacing Baba. Free kick has been taken. Now Wright. Gascoigne. Through the centre forward channel, Ferdinand's taking it past the keeper, cuts it back. And Shashkin there, able to clear it for a corner. Another great ball through, though, from Paul Gascoigne.
Well, just a little bit too deep from Ferdinand. He pushes it towards the byline. He's trying to square it back into the middle because he realises Scholes is there, but taken away nicely by the defender.
Beckham with the corner, the header down, and the header coming in from Sol Campbell. Romanenko, the goalkeeper, though, was well positioned.
Well, Ferdinand and Wright are inside, and look at that. The opportunity fell for Wright. I'm not sure what happened to him. I think he got poked in the eye or something as he comes across because he pays no attention to the ball.
He's gone to the sideline and very easily have just been perhaps a finger or something in the eye.
Moldova really stretched at this point, Mike.
It's Philip Neville. Ben Huddle now has all the England bench warming up on the sideline. Ian Wright has got the signal from the referee to come back on after getting some running repairs. Here's Gascoigne.
Gaza back deep in his own end, controlling things. Wright probably looks like he got poked in the eye. That's what I thought happened initially.
Here's Gascoigne. Caught from behind. Wright. Now Gascoigne just got there first, then was tripped.
Well, in the old days, Gaza would have had a flare up with two of those tackles, but he's matured much more now, and you can see he's having a laugh with the referee, if you can believe that.
Back to Batty. Here's Gascoigne. It's measured pass that time from Gascoigne, picking out Sol Campbell, who's venturing for more and more forward these days. As England growing confidence with a 2-0 lead. Here's Gascoigne. Batty. Beckham turned into trouble. Ibiza was the player who dispossessed him. Beckham coming back, and that's the petulant sort of challenge that Glenn Hoddle was very concerned about. Could easily lead to another yellow card for David Beckham, which would take him out of the game in Rome next month. Ball lifted forward, and David Seaman judging the bounce of that perfectly. Now the shot coming in. And Seaman there asking some questions of his defence. Fisticam was the player who had the shot. That wasn't too far wide, Tommy.
Oh, a nice effort by Fisticam. Takes the ball away from the defenders in the middle. Look at that, he's going on that top left-hand corner. Seaman is very happy that went over the top.
We're on the road to World Cup 98. We're coming to you from Wembley Stadium. This match from European qualifying Group 2. And on the MasterCard game summary, Paul Scholes gave England the lead with a goal in the 29th minute. And then 1 minute after half-time, Arsenal's Ian Wright made it 2-0. There are the goal scorers. England 2, Moldova 0. Along with Tommy Smith, I'm Mike Hill. And England pretty much dominating, but unable to really turn that domination into goals. That was the case in the first half, and the script hasn't changed in the second half, Tommy.
Well, I think the fact now that they're 2-0 up, Mike, if that last one had gone in for Moldova, it might have changed things. But I can imagine you're going to see England play a lot of possession football now, run some time off the clock. I mean, they're much the superior team. They just haven't been able to score, and it's something that England's had to address for a while.
Now Gascoigne. Right There was caught from behind as he tried to play the ball back into the path of Paul Gascoigne. Wright is still down. Sol Campbell so strong at the back and just policing that one back for David Seaman to come out.
Oh, I think he was doing a little bit of holding too, Mike, and got away with it. Just got a grip of a bunch of shorts or a jersey.
Well, the crowd here at Wembley tonight, 74,102, and 57 of those tickets were actually sold to Moldovan supporters. No wonder we haven't heard too much from them.
Oh, they're certainly going to be outnumbered, that's for sure.
Now Gascoigne. Gets the return from Beckham. Gascoigne. Now Gascoigne. Playing it wide for Wright.
Oh, Wright went in and nailed the keeper. There was no need for that.
Well, he'll shake his finger and say it was purely accidental. I think the referee from Sweden has bought it. We've seen him do that so often in the English Premier League. And it's got him in trouble. Ask Peter Schmeichel.
£15,000 worth of trouble.
Now here comes Moldova. England a bit stretched at the moment, but tied it up there by Philip Neville. Here's Batty. England rather careless. At the moment it's 4-on-4. If they can play this right, Moldova could embarrass England even yet. Well, the play sees the shot coming in the end. And David Seaman.
Oh, they just telegraph what they're doing, Mike. Moldova just don't have that. They don't have the confidence to go ahead. That ball should have been walked into the box. Instead, it was being walked around the outside of the box and presented no danger for England in the end. It looked like a great opportunity for Moldova. England are starting to lose the ball in midfield.
Now Rebiza. Mitriev. Southgate. Off the head there of Rogachev, so a throw for England on the far side. And Hoddle contemplating a few changes. The road to World Cup continues here on ESPN. The anthology will bring you up to date with all the latest scores. We'll have highlights, goals, news as the road to World Cup continues on its way to France for 1998. You can catch all the latest right here on ESPN. Check your local listings for times. That is for our international audience. There's David Seaman. Fourth time England have been, or the fourth England captain to captain England from the goalkeeper position. The first was Frank Swift back in 1948, that great Manchester City goalkeeper. Ray Clemens captained England once. That was against Brazil in 1981, and Peter Shilton. 15 times he was the England captain between 1981 and 1990. Popici is the player that's going to come on, and Fistican, I think, is the player that's going to go off. So the second substitution for Moldova. Vici is the player that's going to come on.
Oh, he scored a goal against the Ukraine in a friendly. A lot of people thought he might have gotten the start here today, but they decided to work him in slowly.
He's only 20 years old, Tommy. This is his 10th international appearance. A day that he will remember for a long, long time. Coming on at Wembley Stadium. Mostly Moldovan players, very overawed when they came here yesterday to train. Now this free kick, and David Seaman had that one covered. It was Tisti Matanu who stepped forward to take the free kick.
Tisti Matanu going on that left-hand corner, but he was waiting on the ball to curve it. Curved all right when it got behind the goal.
Batty. Southgate. David Batty, who we'll see in action next week for Newcastle against Barcelona in the opening match of the UEFA Champions League. News on Alan Shearer, by the way, is that Shearer has come out and said he doesn't expect to be playing now till January. It's not good news for England. It's certainly not good news for Newcastle United. Playing embark on the Champions League.
Oh, I think England got as much good news as they're going to get for a long time with that draw in Georgia today, Mike. That was the best bit of news England could get for a long, long time. And now the 2-0 lead here.
The ball played across there by Spinu. Spinu again.
And it's definitely bad news for Newcastle, the fact that Shearer can't come back, especially with the Champions League.
Ball cleared there by Gary Neville. Pushing the ball around with more confidence they have done throughout this game.
Well, I think England have lifted their foot off the pedal just a little bit, which they might come to regret yet. 2-0 lead looks good in this situation, but you give up one, it could be a whole different story, especially against a team like Moldova.
Most managers will tell you that 2-0 is a very dangerous lead, and I'm sure Glenn Hoddle will agree with that as well. Here's Batty, pulled down from behind. It's going to be a free kick. Vici, who's just come on, is the player who was penalised. Here's Gascoigne. Now Philip Neville. Look at the number of players who have not been included today because of injury or suspension or just not making it into the squad. You have to think, Tommy, at the moment that English football's in a very healthy state if they can get their players healthy, like Sheringham and Shearer.
Well, on paper, I mean, they certainly have a good team. You look what they do week in, week out, and the Premiership, the only question that has to be asked is when it comes to European football and international football, Mike, I'm not sure that they have performed at the level that people might have expected from them. But if they keep their squad together, I mean, you get a good run into the finals in '98. I mean, Euro '96 was a good tournament for them, and they'll be looking to go a little bit better.
So they did very well in the tournament in France earlier this year, winning it ahead of Brazil, France and Italy. And looking around this team, it's a very, very young team, basically, that Glenn Hoddle has out there tonight with Neville brothers, Scholes and Beckham. Here's Southgate with skills there from the Aston Villa defender. Now here's Gascoigne. Still Paul Gascoigne. Well, looking for the free kick, nothing given. They allow to continue. And Moldova looking to spring forward quickly. Glenn Hoddle at the moment considering some changes.
Looks like he's going to take on Ripley, Mike.
Well, Ripley has been in sparkling form, as we saw the other week here on the English Premier League football with Blackburn Rovers in that drubbing of Sheffield Wednesday.
7 goals. Blackburn really off to a great start, sitting atop the Premiership.
Nice cushion header inside there from Ferdinand. Here goes Beckham. Pulled down right on the edge of the penalty area.
Well, the defender said, I tried to get out of the way. He just ran into me. He can't believe that he gave up the free kick. Watch Beckham make the move. Just a little bit of knee contact.
Yes, Stroyenko was the culprit. So another free kick then for England. They've had a number in this position just outside the penalty area. They really haven't done anything with any of them yet, Tommy.
No pressure on the keeper on any of them, and I was suggesting that Beckham hit him, and now we'll see what he can do with them.
Placed there by a 3-man wall, chipping this one in, and the free header. And it came from Gareth Southgate. He's never scored for England. That was a glorious opportunity to break his duck.
Oh, he's wide open, right in the middle. Look at this. Ball played in perfectly to him. It looked like it was going into that top right-hand corner. Just for a moment, it looked like he had scored, but he puts it over the top. Very well set up. Nice cushion ball dropped into him.
Well, you don't often get a free header inside the 6-yard box in an international match.
He'd love to have that one back again.
Yes, I think he'll have nightmares about that miss.
Well, he's had a few nightmares over misses in recent times, hasn't he?
Stuart Ripley waiting to come on the far side for England. And I think it's David Beckham that's going to go off. So David Beckham, who's sitting on a yellow card. And Hoddle not going to take any risk. And Stuart Ripley comes on now. Ripley is a different type of player from Beckham. Beckham's been playing wide on the right. He doesn't look comfortable there. He's more a central midfield player. But Stuart Ripley's a winger in the old-fashioned sense.
Well, there's very few old-fashioned wingers. Hoddle never was a man to believe in wingers, and that's why people were very surprised when he took Ripley on this team, Mike.
This is the first corner for Moldova in this game, coming in the 68th minute. The shots. And in the end, no worries there for David Seaman.
Oh, you look at Seaman, I mean, Leeds United rejected him. Only for Petersborough, we might have never heard of David Seaman. They were willing to give him an opportunity, and I mean, what, he's played over 500 games now.
Yes, the 1990-91 season was a great season for David Seaman. Arsenal won the league title. He kept 24 clean sheets, 540 minutes without conceding a goal, and in the end conceded only 18 goals all season.
Oh, the 95 season, he never missed a game. 96, he had an injury. He bent down to turn the television off and he injured his back. Oh, what can you say?
Starting challenge there from Sol Campbell. Here's Gascoigne. Wright. Well, a reckless challenge there on Philip Neville.
Spinu is the man. I think he's going to get the yellow card. The referee's having a chat with him. Neville pushing up more in the second half, and the boot just go in. He's been shown a yellow card.
Well, I must say tonight, Tommy, this game's been played in a very good spirit, hasn't it?
Yeah, there's been no dirt in it at all, and the referee's done a very good job of controlling it as well, Mike. He's used a lot of common sense, which is what you like to see a referee doing.
The players themselves have kept their emotions under control. Now Southgate. Here's Batty. Now Ripley, his first touch. And just running out of space on that far side. Stuart Ripley's only other game for England was Graham Taylor's last match in charge, and that was that 7-1 victory over San Marino. He's gone on record as saying he didn't enjoy the experience that time. Certainly has noticed a big difference in the England camp. He was called up for this game.
Well, Steve McManaman has refused to be drawn into the controversy whether he should have been on the team or not. He has a column in the newspaper, didn't make any comments or didn't make any quotes, said he goes along perfectly with Hoddle.
Hoddle made his views known. He was very disappointed when both McManaman and Fowler pulled out of the tournament in France to have operations during the off-season.
Well, Fowler made an attempt to come back during the week, didn't he?
Yes, he got another knock playing for Liverpool reserve, so he could be out of the first team for a few more weeks yet. Now here's Spinu.
Oh, when you consider the force that Liverpool have been in English football, and you look out at the team today, not a Liverpool man on the inside.
Times they are a-changing. They all come from further up the Mersey these days. Manchester United, here's Batty. Gets the return there from Ferdinand. Now Ripley. Looking to whip this one across, and the header off the woodwork. Oh, and how did that miss?
Well,
David Batty.
Gazza was the man who headed it against the post, and David Batty was the man who hooked it over. Watch Ripley, he's going to fire this one across. Here comes Gazza right down the pipe, knocks it off, and then the net is empty, and Batty just can't find it. Batty's pulling away for it. Look, there's the header from Gazza, and here's the opportunity from Batty, and look what he did with it.
Well, David Batty has never scored a goal for England. This is his 26th appearance, and it looks easier to score then than it did to miss. But initially, Tommy, the cross from Ripley, that's what he's been brought on for. That's what he can supply. And, I mean, that was a perfect cross for Paul Gascoigne. Here he goes again.
Well, you know, it's a dimension that is gradually working its way back into football, Mike. In the olden days, you had legitimate wingers. Now they're starting to work them back in again. We saw Bosnia using a couple of them with good efforts. And Ripley can be a force here.
You're watching the Road to World Cup 98 from Wembley Stadium in North London. The MasterCard game summary. Scholes and Wright are the goal scorers. England leading here by 2-0. Along with Tommy Smith, I'm Mike Hill. And just about 18 minutes left. And England know a victory here will take them to the top of Group 2. Certainly it'll be a confidence builder before they travel to Rome for their last World Cup qualifier against Italy.
Well, if you're going to Italy and you only need a draw, Mike, you're going in pretty good shape, aren't you? Especially after you dropped the first one at home to Italy and looked like you were in real big trouble.
Italy held today in Tbilisi to a 0-0 draw by Georgia. They'd previously been held to a draw by Poland, a team that England beat both at home and away. Young. One thing Moldova have got to be congratulated on, Tommy, is that they've come here and they've tried to make a game of it. They've not come back and just decided to defend. They've been forced to defend because of England's superiority in midfield. But at least they've tried to attack whenever they've got the ball.
The other thing is, Mike, they haven't hung their head at any stage. They have never given up the ghost. I mean, they're giving as good now as they did in the first minute when they played, even though they're down 2-0. And it's a good enough performance by a team that's so completely outmanned.
Here goes Ripley. And Ripley was being held. Free kick goes against Mitriev.
Well, he has trouble with the hamstring. I mean, he was pushing himself forward, and you can see he's wincing with a little bit of a twinge of that hamstring. He's gone off to get some attention for it. You're going to see here as he pushes forward, he just loses his balance a little bit because he gets the pull, and then you can see he pulls up with that hamstring, the right one.
Shutabarov is the player that's going to come on for Moldova, and Stuart Ripley is going to go off. Glenn Hoddle's not going to risk it anymore, and I think Nicky Butt is going to get the call, another player from Manchester United.
Well, another of Alex Ferguson's fledglings getting the opportunity perhaps to come on here. But what a break. That is a bad break for Ripley, Mike. Only in the game about 10 minutes.
Not even that, in fact.
Bad break for Blackburn too, if there's anything serious with his hamstring.
Manchester drifting out of play that time. A little disappointment for Stuart Ripley, 29 years old. And that was his second appearance in less than 10 minutes. Now Gascoigne. Still Gascoigne plays it wide. Gary Neville now. Nice turn. Plays this one into the far post. The header. Well, in fact, there, Paul Gascoigne was in two minds whether to challenge for that. I think if it might have been touch and go, you might have seen Gascoigne have a go at this one, but I think he took pity on the goalkeeper.
He fell across the goalkeeper in the end, and I mean, there's no way that he wouldn't have went further for it. Ferdinand is the man who drops it into him, and he just pulls out and leaves the keeper come out on top of him, and then he falls over him. Glenn Hoddle can't believe that he didn't put it in. You have two, Glenn, you have enough.
Nicky Butt is on. Stuart Ripley is the player that he has replaced. And also Moldova did make their change with Rogachev, the player that has gone off, and the number 17 Chibatarov is the player that has come on. So Moldova have used all three of their substitutes. Gascoigne. David Batty. Now Campbell. Here's Philip Neville. And now quite content just to keep possession. Here's Gascoigne. Batty. Batty that time, trying to get a bit too clever. Shikarev. Well, he was fouled, so it's going to be a free kick to Moldova. For our international audience, immediately following our live game from the Champions League next week, Newcastle and Barcelona, will be bringing you the full match of Juventus against Feyenoord. 2 previous winners. You can see that next Wednesday. Check your local listings for times. Ion Karas there, the 47-year-old coach of Moldova. Very complimentary about the England team. Felt that they were a better team than the Italians. And they all seem to have enjoyed their stay here in England. When you look in the record books, 2-0. Not be a bad result at all for them. They've not been an easy team throughout this World Cup qualifying. Certainly they kept Italy scoreless until about the 70th minute before losing by 3-0. They only lost 1-0 at home to Italy as well, so they have put up some incredible performances.
Well, a lot of young players, Mike. They have a lot of young players that they can build on.
In fact, Moldova will finish with 2 home games against Georgia and then against Poland. Has been scoring goals. They haven't given away too many, but scoring them certainly has been a problem. We've seen that tonight. Some of the build-up play has been excellent, but the final ball, or when they get in the penalty area, nobody wants to take the responsibility.
Yeah, they just need somebody to pick the ball up and say, okay, it's going to be my shot. Even if I miss it, I'm going to take the opportunity. And they've just been laying back, Mike. It's just a little bit of lack of confidence, lack of experience, not an awful lot of international experience. Only formed an international team in 1993.
Intercept that time by Stolenko. Ribiza. Nice goals there from Ribiza, who certainly looks impressive at times. 24 years old, plays for Zimbru of Kishinev. He won the championship 5 times out of the last 6 seasons.
Oh, he's one of those out and out. He's a right winger, Mike, and loves to play on that right wing. He's been pushing in a little bit tonight.
Here he is again. Challenge that time from Neville. It's Gary Neville winning it. And now Gascoigne. Still Paul Gascoigne wriggling away from those challenges. Wright. Gascoigne. Brilliant goal from Gascoigne. He started the move and he finished it.
Well, just reward for Gascoigne for the kind of game he's played. He looked like he was hustled off the ball, but instead he just flips it inside. Wright then flips it on the right, and Gaza runs onto it, and he just slips it by the keeper. Look at this run off the ball by Gaza. Cuts diagonally across the box, and he beats the keeper cleanly on the far side. Knows exactly what Wright is going to do with the ball, makes himself available. Brilliant finish by Gaza. Great run off the ball, great passing by Ian Wright. That's just great football.
Paul Gascoigne's second goal in World Cup qualifying. He also scored in the 3-0 victory over Moldova in Kishinev 12 months ago. He has scored here at Wembley. England 3, Moldova 0. Gascoigne's 10th international goal in all.
Well, I'll tell you, it's one of the best performances I've seen from Gaza over the years. He's hungry out there, he's strong, he's controlling everything, and he's just spraying those passes around, Mike, and that was a tremendous run off the ball by Gaza.
That's not play down the part that Ian Wright played in that. Very unselfish. And the ball beautifully back into the path there of Gascoigne. Gaza did the rest. Campbell's going to get penalised for that sliding challenge.
Well, he may get a card. The referee's having a look at him. Yes, he does get the yellow card.
Well, that seemed rather harsh.
Well, he's going to come in, and it's a tackle from behind. Just about gets touched with the ball, but he's taken the player out of it a long time before that. Here's the contact. Oh, the referee didn't look very kindly upon it. Sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you don't. That time he didn't.
Well, England have made another substitution, and Stan Collymore has come on. with just about 8 minutes to play. He comes on to replace Les Ferdinand, who has gone off. Stan Collymore, who moved from Liverpool to Aston Villa during the off-season. Really to discover his goal-scoring touch.
Big money signing, cost a lot of money.
Now Batty. Ball slid through, and Gascoigne trying to make a run through the centre-forward channel.
Oh, Collymore on his first touch of the ball almost sets Gaz away again for another one.
Stan Collymore, this is his third international appearance. He's not scored a goal so far.
Well, Gaza had a banner day, Mike. 54 passes and 51 of them complete.
Well, Glenn Hoddle said it was so important for England tonight, not only to win, but to win well, to lift the mood of the whole nation. Certainly there'll be a new talking point tomorrow, Tommy, after this performance from England.
Well, certainly, I think they galvanised the nation behind them in Euro 96, Mike. Not too many people give England much of an opportunity when they went into it. And I think after they were knocked out sensationally in the end, the whole country was behind them, and the players got a lot of faith that time out of the fans.
Moldova, though, have come. They've stuck to their task well. Moldova, just a country of about 4.5 million people, situated between Romania and Russia. There's David Seaman there, just giving a little bit of a test from Philip Neville.
Oh, it's really the biggest test he got all afternoon, and it came from one of his own defenders. Philip Neville, I'm not sure he had the happiest of days out there, Mike.
Well, the younger of the two Neville brothers, 20 years old.
You just wonder what Alex Fergus is going to do with him. I mean, Dennis Irving had that kind of a role cemented up there. Does Irving or Neville take it away from him now?
Also remember that Glenn Hoddle can certainly bring in Graham Lassell, or perhaps even Stuart Pearce into that left-sided defensive position. The sort of problems that managers and coaches like. It's when you've got too many good players for one position. It's the other way around. When you haven't got a good player for a position, that they get very worried.
Especially when you're winning, you don't mind having any kinds of problems. It's much easier to tell a player he's dropped after you win than it is when they have lost. The pressure's on.
We're inside the final 5 minutes. England 3, Moldova 0. Our coverage of the UEFA Champions League will continue with coverage of the Bayern Munich versus Besiktas game. You can see that next Wednesday. Check your local listings for times. That's the third match of our trio of games for our international audience next Wednesday. Bayern Munich, the three-time winners, German champions, against the Besiktas from Turkey. Now, Collymore. Collymore. Stuart Ripley being helped off. Sad sight. So just 8 minutes in the game. And he's a player that doesn't get too many injuries, Tommy, in a whole league season.
Yeah, that's really bad-looking news for Blackburn. You just hope that it's not as bad as it looks, Mike. You hate to see a player get off in a wheelchair at any stage, but you hope it's just a precaution.
The corner. Referee just having a word there. There was a little pushing and shoving going on in the penalty area. Stan Collymore was involved. Here's Gascoigne. He'll take the corner. Beckham is now off. Hits this towards the far post. And in fact, the two defenders there just putting Ian Wright off. He seemed to jump and he lost the view of the ball.
In the end, the ball actually hit off him without ever making any attempt for him to play it, which is very unusual for the ball to fall to a striker inside of the box like that and bounce off him.
I think he had two defenders jumping in front of him who both missed it. He didn't see the ball till the last minute. No way of bringing it under control. Moldova taking down that far side. Their ambition was to score a goal. The players out there have still got that ambition. Paul Gascoigne has put the icing on the cake as far as England is concerned.
Look at the move he makes, look at the run he makes, and then the perfect pass coming from Wright. Just slides it by the keeper, makes it look so easy. Soccer's a simple game when you do it properly, isn't it?
It's only managers and players that make it difficult. It is a simple game after all, and that was simplicity itself, but so effective. It's even out quickly for England. It's one stint as England captain. Glenn said it wouldn't be permanent, but at least it's going to have a 100% record. Stay with us here on ESPN. We return at the end of this game. Our Road to World Cup 98 coverage continues. We'll have our post-match wrap, and we'll bring you up to date with all the other happenings in Europe. And it's a very busy day in World Cup qualifying. Now Moldova. 90 seconds on the clock to go, plus any time to be added on for stoppages. I wouldn't think there'd be too much of that, Tommy.
No, we didn't have too many stoppages in the second half. Probably add on a minute, minute and a half, something like that.
Gary Neville.
Well, what started out as a very somber day is certainly ending in a festive mood for the English fans, isn't it?
Yes, they've got plenty to cheer about. These 3 goals. Collymore now looking to add to that tally. Slide that one through. The forward channel is blocked. Now Moldova. Nice 1-2 that time by Moldova, and in the end England had enough players back. David Seaman stops it going for a corner. Doesn't take any risk in that situation. It's number 10, Ribizri, certainly has impressed.
He's tried very hard all day, Mike. Good control of the ball, and he has fairly decent speed too.
Ray Clements, actually captain England from the goalkeeping position, now on the coaching staff of Glenn Hoddle. Captain England in 1981 in the game against Brazil. And the ball played forward, and the offside flag has stayed down. Now here's Wright. It's 4.
Wright just walked in on his own. Everybody from Moldova had pushed up. Moldova looking for the goal, and watch this. Wright is released. Man down on the inside who is injured, played him onside, and Wright just takes it and whistles it home. I mean, he makes it look so easy as he walks inside. No question about him being offside. Keeper comes out, and he just does that little bit of magic, slides it underneath the goalkeeper. Look at this for a finish, coming right into your living room. Brilliant goal from Ian Wright. Brilliant pass out of the back. Gazza was the man who fed it down to him. Gazza's coming alongside of him, but Wright decides to take it on home on his own.
Ian Wright's 8th goal for England, his first in World Cup qualifying. It came in the final minute. England 4, Moldova 0.
Well, what started out as a very difficult task for England has become very simple, hasn't it? After 20 minutes, you would never imagine they would score 4.
Now Gary Neville. Here's Batty. Certainly it was a more determined England in the second half. They added 3 goals to the scoreline. Though superior in the first half, they really were unable to show that superiority in goals. Well, the whole mood of Wembley Stadium has changed from a very sombre affair earlier tonight when the Candle in the Wind by Elton John that was sung at Princess Diana's funeral was played. Certainly now England has done what they set out to do. Glenn Hoddle said, we want to lift the mood of the nation. They have certainly succeeded in that. And there is the final whistle. And England now go top of their group as we check the MasterCard game summary. 2 goals from Ian Wright in the 46th and the 90th minute. Paul Scholes set England on their way to a victory, and Gascoigne rounded it out with a goal in the 81st. Ian Wright, though, 2-goal hero tonight for England, plus he had a very big hand in the goal for Paul Gascoigne. For Glenn Hoddle, it's a job well done. This was England's first goal, Paul Scholes scoring in the 29th minute. And then Ian Wright, a minute after the break, gave England a 2-0 lead. And Wright was involved again, played a nice 1-2 here, played it back into the path of Paul Gascoigne. That happened in the 81st minute. And then in the final minute of play, Ian Wright streaks away from the defenders, slides it under the keeper for his second goal of the night. And that goal wraps out a convincing victory in the end for England. No wonder he is embraced by his teammates. England 4, Moldova 0. That's how it finished. Stay with us. We've got more when we return to Wembley.